All the board members have received the minutes from January 21st, 2021. I ask for a motion for approval.
Motion to approve the minutes from January 21st, board meeting.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion so approved. Next would be personnel.
Got a handful of personnel items. Just to information-wise, so the board knows, we've got a couple student teachers in the building. Nevin Miller is with Mrs. Shepherd, both from PNW, by the way. And Tori DeCock is with Mrs. Clemens at the 6th grade level. First for approval, Dave Amore, resignation from girls softball.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved.
Looking for approval for the new varsity softball coach, Alexandria McMillan.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved.
And then her assistant, varsity assistant softball coach, Jackie Snyder.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved.
Volunteer softball coach, Mike Welke.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then resignation of paraprofessional Kim Hussman.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
And
Next item would be the claim docket.
Make a motion to approve the claim docket.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. And the balance sheet.
Signed it the wrong line. I signed under.
You're good. Are there any questions on the balance sheet? No. And are there any public comments this evening? Yep.
I want to know if there's any chance that they can have more handicap designated spots in the parking area. There's only one, it was filled up.
Okay.
so we have on yours, what?
There should be some, you can't see them, of course, but on the side and the front, by the one that's by the, like, rack that's over there, there was two there at one point. They might have been.
Oh, you mean
I think the
right
bus
in
is
The bus is
parked
sitting there right now.
Oh.
So there's two there, but unfortunately.
That's right.
Yeah, so we definitely need to make sure the bus isn't, I noticed that when I drove up this evening. So there are two there, and you're welcome to utilize those spaces, but we need to make a point. So are there any other ways we can think of? I know there's two in the front also, I believe,
And
correct?
I believe that's it, on the side, on the north end of the building, I believe too.
Yeah.
That wouldn't help.
No.
No.
Right.
But thank you for pointing that out.
Somebody just gotta be out their door so I can get my car parked and then got valet parking.
There you go. Problem solved even better. We probably do want to think about letting our visiting teams know, maybe it'd be better for them to pull their bus around the backside of the building, and then towards the end of the game, pull it back around.
Sure.
We can look into that.
Thank you.
Appreciate that, thank you.
Any other questions?
Recently, South Central has discontinued, or at least in its current form, its pre-K program. And I was wondering, is Tri-Township equipped to handle an influx of pre-K kids? And how has Tri-Township's pre-K program managed to stay solvent while South Central's hasn't? What do we do differently?
Nothing, really. I wouldn't say it's solvent, it's just something we're committed to. So yes, we can definitely handle an influx, and we are excited to. Currently, we have 34 kids on a list. So we are right now hoping, now only 19 of those have committed by paying. But we're hoping we get at least the 32 so that we can have a full morning session and a full afternoon session. If the numbers keep coming in, I may even find a way to have another half-day session if the numbers support it. Yeah, clear. I guess I wasn't here when the program was discussed. I've never known it to be a moneymaker, but it's certain, in the long term, it certainly could be. If we get a few of those kids from South Central that come over and stay, decide, hey, this is good, we're gonna stay, we'll make plenty of money back on those kids.
How much is the program losing currently?
I don't have those numbers with me tonight. Maybe, I did give it a little bit of thought though. 18, 20,000, maybe. Those are ballpark though.
Justin, when you look at, when we started the program, we spent a large influx of money just to get the room and everything ready. And the board's intention about that, knowing that we weren't gonna make money, was exactly what Mr. Shepard said. The intent was to develop, to make sure we're maintaining that structure for the kids, and then hopefully they stay. So you end up generating 3 extra kids that wouldn't otherwise through a period of 12 or 13 years that paid for itself. So it was a risk on behalf of the board, but I think it's been a great thing for our school, a great thing for the many families who benefited from it.
Sure, it's an excellent loss leader in terms of marketing. And do you guys have a certified teacher for that program?
We do.
Okay, same as like South Central did?
Yep.
Thank you.
Cool.
Okay, if there are no other questions, we'll move on to the high school meeting update.
So the good news on the school side, the one expensive part, we seem to be in consistent working order over there right now with the heating system. It's holding up for us. But we've just had to continue to call Lovings back out on the gym side. And, you know, one part gets solved and it leads to the next one. With this super cold weather we've had, it just doesn't seem to hold up. We'll get in there in the morning and the gym side's 54 degrees. We think as of this week, again, the latest part swap, a gas valve, we think we've got it going now too. So now, what it did lead to, that once again, and I didn't get to tell you guys about this, but we had our gym bathrooms freeze up again on us, but not like they did previously. And the good news today was we warmed it up slowly enough. The toilet bowl got water back in it. We don't think there's any leaks, so we think we're in good shape. So that was the good news from today. On the Wanata side, we also replaced the one part, that electronic valve, and we got some conflicting information from that company, Area Sheet Metal. The guy that installed that part kind of didn't realize it had to be calibrated a certain way. So we had some fluctuations here for a day or two also. Scott got them back out, and we're working just fine in that area now too. So both buildings, as of right now, the heat issues have been solved. We hope it continues that way. On to, so that was just information on both those. Then calendar, number 9, your first look at the calendar tonight. Now, it's actually what you've got in your packet tonight is different than what I emailed you a few days ago. I ended up switching it back to be the same as the rest of the county after I got feedback from the teachers, because that's a discussable item. And once the teachers came back with some of their thoughts on the, I was probably overthinking it, but in terms of this project, I was trying to anticipate which would be a better place to have a longer summer. So we thought if we try to shoot for the following summer being longer, and maybe that work time gets a project done completely. But it would have really, with our COVID delayed start, it would have truncated this summer quite a bit. So the staff said, kind of an early start, so we pushed it back, and essentially our calendar is the same as the rest of the county on that, so. But that's first reading, so you guys can look through that, see if you have any issues or thoughts, and we'll vote on that next month. Then on to number 10, we had 2 policies that came through from the ISBA that are just a little tweak and change to them, but we need to update those. So on the student transfer policy, number 10 item, it's really just the changes in relation to if we were to have an employee who lives outside the district and wants to bring their son or daughter to us. It's got some language changes in there on that. So that's a first reading. And then student discipline policy, it pertains to, there's kind of always been a debate about this in education, whether or not a student who is suspended for a disciplinary reason can get credit for work completed. And basically, it looks like they finally have definitively answered that, so that if a student is under a discipline suspension, they can in fact get credit for their work completed. So that's the main update in that reading. Takes us to number 12 on the agenda. The Wanata Public Library Board has asked that we appoint Mr. Gregory Benham to the Wanata Public Library. So that we will need a motion for approval.
I'll make a motion to appoint Gregory Bennett to the Wanata Public Library Board.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved.
And then that takes us to our principal reports.
Okay. I'll report, we're busy, back to normal, if you will, or trying to approach that normal. If you hear the buzzers going off, our 5th and 6th grade basketball teams are up and running, our 7th and 8th grade basketball teams are up and running for girls, and then we're starting middle school volleyball here. And since the last board meeting, we celebrated our 100th day of school of our elementaries. I know that's always a big day at the elementaries, and fun to see all the creations that the kids came up with and brought to school. As we shift to March here, thinking about it, we have a big iRead test coming up that we're preparing for, and our focus will shift to the state standardized test for Ed Learn coming up in April as well. After we present, we're approaching 96% of our students to be in person. Been a hard push for that with the programs and offerings that we have, but we are down to 10 virtual students here at Wanata. That's great, and the virtual students are performing well with minimal complications, if you will, with our virtual students. But we know who our students are virtually, and I'm really happy and proud that we could have 96% of our kids in person. And the principal numbers too was on my principal report as well. Having 30 plus is what I had on our list right now. That's exciting for the 21-22 school year to have that many kids in the building. And I can't speak enough of our preschool program and the leaps and bounds our kids that go through our program in our current kindergarten show their readiness and preparedness outside of if students did not have that program. So I'm excited to have the 30 plus kids on there now to welcome them into the building the 2021-22 school year. That's it.
At the high school, we had 2 teachers, Mrs. Kramer and Mrs. Gower, that applied for grants to the Sherilyn Walter Foundation. Mrs. Kramer's grant was for an art club. So the kids they got art supplies through that. Right now we're going through ISTEP, so they had an issue of meeting, but they plan on meeting at least once every 2 weeks. And it's just a different way of kids to work through maybe issues that they have, but also do art while they're doing it, and so that she can have conversations with them. And then Mrs. Gower applied and got a $200 grant for the Tiger Store. So what the Tiger Store is, it's items that students may need that they don't have at home, And we've had a lot of people donate already, so toothbrushes, deodorant. Some people have donated some clothes. Any items that they need, personal items that maybe they don't have at home, now they can get at the school. So we're developing a little room downstairs that they're able to use that, and we have everything in there. Leo's Club, Emily Pomperion came up with a plan of working with another student from another school down in Indy, of collecting plastic bags. As of today, we're over 3,000 bags already that have been donated. And I think more came in yesterday, more came in today. So we're doing that till the end of the month. Our juniors right now are taking ISEP testing. They are the last class that will do ISEP testing. From here on, all juniors will be doing SAT testing starting next year. So they are our last class of ISEP testers. So with the 2-hour delays and the missed school days, it's been difficult. But Mrs. Kramer and the teacher have been working together on that to get them done. So we're hoping by tomorrow we'll have the majority of them done. And then last week we had homecoming, so it was nice that we were able to have more people in the gym last week, with the county being yellow. And it actually, I was able to be there, but just watching it on the television, it actually looked normal for once, a normal basketball game. So the kids really enjoyed homecoming week. We had to switch things around. We had to do things a little bit different, but they worked with us, and so it was a good week. And when the Tigers win, it's always a good night too. So we got a W that night. So that's it for my report.
Thank you both.
Thanks.
What do you say, 5 reports?
Brian, we've managed to still hang in there in the athletic side of
Yeah.
things, correct?
Yes, if we could be in the black as far as basketball, home games, as far as paying for officials, our workers. If we have a good night tomorrow night, we'll end up in the black, where
Good.
for a while it was looking like we weren't. So, couple good home games helps.
Is it too late to get a ticket for the juniors, where they're gonna have, or in the paper?
That raffle,
Yeah,
they are raffling everything off tomorrow.
yeah, it's too late to buy a ticket?
I think so,
Oh, shoot. Okay, thank you.
but I can see what I can do.
Just for Jim.
I'll make a donation.
Make a motion to approve the SA5.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
And a motion to adjourn, please.
Superintendent report's already done.
A motion to adjourn, I'm sorry. I didn't know if you did. I missed that.
I think, you know what, I think I put them out of order.
That's settled in the
Yeah,
way.
I did, it threw me off too. The only thing that I'll add to what these guys have said is, as rough as this winter has been, and this whole pandemic mess and everything, somehow I feel like we are poised to come out of this thing. Not extremely soon, but we're gonna come up out of this thing on an upward trend here. I just have a feeling that we're gonna have our minds right when all these clouds break. And I see some really great things happening for us a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. So that's just a thought I had, so I thought I'd share that. So, Mr. Russ,
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
thank you.